CSC in Dr. Mahalingam College of Engineering and Technology, Pollachi. So I'm taking privilege to introduce resource person of this day 2 and session 2 of our AICT sponsored, adult sponsored faculty development program on augmented reality and virtual reality. So Mr. Akshay Arora, senior consultant, ThoughtWork, Burhan. So he will cover the topic of Unity architecture, Unity installation, and configuration in this session. So he's an XR enthusiastic and game developer, completed his Master of Computer Application in Jamia Millia Islamia. He is an experienced programmer with a demonstrated history of working in the gaming, AR, VR, and various applications in industry. He is having high skill in Unity, C Sharp, and object-oriented programming. Now, I hand over the session to Mr. Akshay. Mr. Akshay, now the session is yours.
Thank you so much, sir, for introducing me. Am I audible, everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, you're audible.
Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. So, I am Akshay. I have been working with ThoughtWorks Gurgaon for around 1.5 years now. I've been in this industry of AR, VR, and gaming for around 5 years now. It worked on several applications like game application, and AR, VR applications, interactive solutions, real-time simulations, and all of things that involve 3D and all. I primarily worked on Unity to build all of these applications. So in this session as well, we will know about Unity, what Unity is, why we are using Unity for building AR, VR applications, and how can we get started with it, how can we download, we can see some plans, what are the plans that are available from Unity, and how to install, how to configure, what are the settings that we need to configure after installing it, and some other editor, like how Unity editor basically looks like, what are the different things in editor, basically to get you started on Unity, right? Okay, I'm not sharing my screen. Let me share. My screen visible?
Yes, sir. You're visible.
Okay. Just for the sake of bandwidth, I'll just stopping my video feed that my voice will not break. Okay, good. Start the presentation. Okay. So we'll be covering all of these topics like introduction to Unity, why Unity. We'll look into how Unity works, architecture, what is the IDE that which IDE do we generally use for Unity development, which officially Unity supports, how to download, install, and we'll have a live demo of all of this. So first things first, what is Unity? So Unity is basically a cross-platform game engine, which is being developed by Unity Technologies in 2005, and first announced in 2005 at Apple's worldwide conference, developer conference, as a Mac OS exclusive game engine. It was introduced as a Mac OS exclusive game engine, but slowly it gained its popularity, and it aimed to basically dominate the game development by making it more accessible to developers. It is primarily used to create 3D, 2D applications, but now we are also using it for AR, VR applications and simulations, and in current days, like almost every industry is using it, like the education industry, be it automobile, manufacturing, defense. Everyone is using Unity to create their interactive solutions, be it AR, VR, or some simulations, or any kind of, or a serious games. Like many companies, corporate companies use used to create serious games, like games with a purpose to train their employees, and things like that. Uh, so uh, these are the things that Unity does. Why Unity basically? Why not any, like there are several game engines that are available. Why are we focusing on Unity today? It's because of some reasons, some primary reasons. And the main reason is Unity supports almost every platform, like 25 plus platforms, such as iOS, Android, Nintendo, Steam VR, AR VR devices like HoloLens, PlayStations, uh, web, like every device that you can think of, it basically has a support and partnership with them. They have a very easy to use interface. At first you will see kind of a very complicated thing, but trust me, if you get your hands dirty with it, you will find it very easy to explore. Just have a drag and drop interface. Even for today's time, they launch visual scripting, so you don't need, like the non programmers will also have, um, like they just need to drag and drop, and they can prototype things. So and also they have a very huge community of developers, which they have multiple forums. You'll find multiple groups, and this what you call it, road shows and uh, events. These kind of like Unity itself, and also like people from the industry, they around the meetup and all. So there's a huge community of them, and very active community of developers now in India as well as globally as well. And Unity has a huge asset store with pre-built templates that are basically plug and play. Many things that, for example, if you don't have any 3D experience, 3D modeling experience, or you are not from an artist background or something, you can just like there is a huge Play Store kind of thing where you can just directly download and import 3D, 2D, any scripts as well. A whole project you can download. So there's a whole asset store with pre-built templates that is available for us. So there are some stats basically to extend the why Unity part. So in 2018, Unity create approx half of the mobile games that are available on the market. Like typically, 1 out of 2 game is made with Unity, and 60% of the AR/VR content or applications are being created with Unity. And some emerging augmented reality platforms such as HoloLens and other Oculus and all, 90% of them are 90% of developers are using Unity to create such applications. So Unity is being growing up from the games to this industry enterprise level AR/VR things as well. According to Fortune magazine as well, Unity dominates the virtual reality business. That's why we are here to look into Unity. Okay, now let's talk about how Unity works. What is the architecture of Unity? So before jumping to the architecture, like just one thing that we must keep in our mind, that Unity is a closed source engine. This means that we have to assume like the architecture by just mental modeling through its documentation and all. We can't be so sure about it because it's a closed system. Uh, but there are two core engine architecture pillars that uh, that makes uh, the Unity base. Is like one is the components and other is the scripting APIs. Let's first see about components. What are the components? So Unity is basically a component driven engine, which is basically it's like we can, if we want to build our game, we need to use some combination of components. Like components, we will understand in the next part of the next session. But to give you overview, components is anything that that has some uh, like some drawing capacity. What are we drawing? What is the position? Like components you can assume like text, image, things like that, that you need to like build your game, right? So if you see this high level graph, Unity requires scenes. So the main core part of a Unity game or a application is a scene. Everything that you can have in your project is, it should be within the scene. Not a scene, multiple scenes. You can have multiple scenes, but everything should contained in a scene. So scene contains multiple game objects. Game objects is basically a collection of components. We'll understand this thoroughly in the following session. But on the overview side, game objects basically contains components, and these components are basically the building blocks of the game, of the application, not for a game only. So if we talk about components like game objects, so a game object is basically an empty container which should have and include all the three things. The system is basically, you can say, a UI system or a camera system or a rendering system, and should have a data means image, text, things like that, and it should have a behavior, what it can do in a system, what it has, like the data, and what can it do with the use of that data. So all of these makes a component. So the core of the Unity engine is a component. The script and everything is a core component in Unity, right? And then the other pillar is the scripting APIs. So Unity understood that if they wanted to make an engine that it can be used with developers of various skill levels, like they don't have a very they don't want to make it very only exclusive for game developers, or like they know that it can be used with various skill levels, like artists can use it for, and animations like the film, that movie cartoon and animations are also being used by this, so they don't need to code and everything. So what they did is they achieved this by wrapping and exposing the engine's core functionalities and libraries to a managed scripting API. So this means that a Unity developer or artist or whoever it is can focus on writing code without worrying about the intricacies of the internal working of the engine. I need to know how a 3D object is being rendered on my screen. I just need to know what can I do over that 3D object. So this is being taken care by Unity. I don't need to know the integration, how a game object is being stored in the memory and all of these things. I just need to work on that high level. So the core components is basically of this engine is usually like any other game engine. It's coded in low-level programming languages like C++ and assembly languages, because like Unity needs a precise control over memory and processing usage. But programmers that are responsible for implementing the in-game systems like AI, for example, or AR/VR, or some gameplay, can code on a higher level of engine architectures, right? So the objective is to expose Unity's core features to the end users. In this case, developers, while protecting the inner workings of the engine, they can work on the outer layer just to make it work. So the combination of a scripting API and a component system gives a very simple but yet powerful and a very good engine base in Unity. Right. I'll stop here for some questions or doubts. I know this is too much to absorb in a short period if you don't know Unity yet, if you don't know components in yet, but this is the whole architecture, like whole base. I'll wait for 1 minute. You have something. Okay, I think there's no questions, so let's move on to the next thing. Which IDE do we generally use for the Unity development? So we have multiple options. Like we have Visual Studio, and like the two major like widely used IDE for scripting in Unity is basically Visual Studio, Microsoft Visual Studio, and the other is the JetBrains Rider. It is very recently launched, like a year ago or something. If we compare both of these, Visual Studio and Rider, Writer basically has an upper edge because Unity officially supports it now. It has like very uh, smooth, I will say, very quick and smooth integration with Unity and the ID. Uh, and it has some easy debugging. You can work, like it basically provides tools for better programming tapes, and you can run unit test inside the IDE. You don't need to go to the editor, Unity editor, for doing all of these things. You can explore Unity docs, and like Unity supports officially supports JetBrains Rider, so you can uh, like have a very good experience of the ID. Uh, so so that is how you can download it. You need to download it separately before installing Unity. So it is basically just you just need to download. It has some plans as well, like 50 they sorry 30 days trial is free. After that you need to purchase it. I already have one, so I'm not downloading it. You can just download it. It's pretty straightforward as installer kind of thing. So it will automatically configures all of the like the rest of the all of the .NET APIs and everything that it will take care of itself. This is how typical ID looks like. So if you see, like it automatic provides suggestions particularly and tailored to Unity, not a general .NET C# coding, particularly to Unity classes and all. Let's get back to the slide. Now the main part, how to download Unity, and like the main part of the show. Move to the Unity page. You can just go to the unity.com. There you will find their page, home page. You will have they have different products now. Unity Pro, Flag, Build Server, Artisan. Like they have for real time BIM data to Real 3D. They have certain products also available now. To download Unity, we need to go to the Get Started page, where you will have all the pricing and plans that are available before the download the Unity editor. The main difference between the individual and business plan is basically, to be clear, like all the things that is available inside game engines is completely available to with every single option. Like it's not like if it's a free version that you are getting for a trial period, or getting a limited functionality. You will get the whole engine. You don't need to worry. The most noticeable difference is as you can see, like if you play some games or something, you will see made with Unity splash at the front, at the start of your game or application usually comes. That is because if you want to remove that, you need to buy any of the plan, but you need to buy Unity to remove that made with Unity splash. That's the most noticeable difference that you will see in a day-to-day version. Or the difference between all of this, like in individual plan, you have student plan where you need to be eligible for all for the student program. For general use, for just look into Unity, where you are not building for some enterprise or something, I would recommend to use the personal one, because it has everything, just that only one splash screen comes. But you can explore all of the features without like anything in your pocket. And then for business purposes, we have Plus, Pro, and Enterprise. They are basically ranging from custom options, like if you want the source code access and build server license capacity, like for advanced use, basically. You will have Pro and then Enterprise. Then you will have some learning live sessions, tailored learning plan, and all of this thing. So you can just go to the any of the plan. Let's get started with the personal plan. Here you land on this page. This page is basically for both the kind of users. For first time users, where if you start here, you will have a learning path, like you will have all the tutorials, and there is a micro game that will instruct you to how to use Unity and all of this. And then if you have some experience, like if you already downloaded Unity and have some experience with Unity, then you can just go directly here. Here, you just need to click on their acceptance and you need to download Unity Hub. Now, what is a Unity Hub? I'll tell you by live demonstration. So it will just download a hub setup. You just need to install it. Nothing fancy here. I'll show you after installing how a hub looks like. So this is how a hub looks like if you first install it. It is just a hub is just a launcher kind of thing, which basically installs your Unity, manage your project, manage your licenses, manages your account, and helps in providing you certain modules and everything that to manage your Unity. We have a Unity manager, which is called a Unity Hub, basically. So by default, you don't have any Unity version. And by the way, you can download multiple Unity versions. I'll show you. If you scroll down to the end, you will see a download Unity. Here, you will see all the pages that are available with you, like starting from Unity 3.2 that was launched in 2012, back in 2012, and till this date, 15 December, or yesterday only they published one version as well. So you will get all the latest thing. You just need to click on this Unity Hub to basically integrate it with your Unity Hub that you downloaded, or you can just so I open my Unity Hub, go to the installs. Here you can also add and just download your version from here. So I already have two versions with me. All of the Unity version that you have in your system will be linked here. Like I have two versions, so it will show me the version number and like which support. I'll come to that in a bit. Then you have projects. I have certain projects here, but your screen will look like this. Okay, I don't have it. Okay. Okay, your screen will look empty. Where is my help? Okay. So your screen will look empty. You need to create one or add or open. Like if you want to open your existing Unity project, you just need to click on this add button to get it. Right. In the installer window, yes, I want to show you one thing as well. When you install a Unity version, it will ask you to add modules to your install. This is the only complicated, like not the complicated, the unusual thing that you see in an installer, apart from all the start and OK apply things. Add modules is basically Unity does not provide you all the build supports from the starting of your application when you on the starting of your installation time, because it's very like it takes a huge size. And if you don't want to build for tvOS, for example, Linux or Windows builds, you just want to build for Android, and you just need to select Android support. And also, if you want to build for both Android and iOS, you can just select Android and iOS and click on done. You don't need to select every other module. And for example, if you select only Android, if afterwards you want to add support for iOS or WebGL, so you can just directly go here to your Unity version, and you can just add more modules to it, and it will take you to the add module page where you can just directly add iOS support or add WebGL, and just click and it will download and integrate it. Also, if you want to include documentation as well, here is the option. Also, if like for some certain particular languages, you can download the text. So these are the extra modules that you might need during the development. You can have it here. So Unity Hub is basically manages your Unity, manages your project, help you to learn things like multiple projects and tutorials are available there, so you can just directly go and download and look into that. So yeah, this is kind of a Unity Hub page. Now let's create a project. Let's see what is there in the Unity. And yes, sir, sorry, before that, if you download it, you will need a Unity ID to download your Unity. It's a free free registration. If you don't have one Unity ID, you can just directly go and create one, and then you will just have this kind of account in your. Also, you don't need a every time you don't need internet sorry. I would request everyone to please be on mute, not talking. Yeah, thank you so much. So, so we don't need an active internet connection every time to make Unity work. Just while setting up Unity Hub, like logging with Unity ID and all, we just need for that. Apart from that, we don't need active internet connection for this. And okay, let's create a project and see what is there in a project. Okay, so now I have two options. Like I have two Unity versions, so I can install. I can create a project with any of it, or if you just create a new, it will create of your last opened version, last used Unity version. So this is when you click on new, you will see a screen like this. What all we have here is the templates. A template is basically it will help you in while creating your project. It will help to if you want to add some extra topping over your pizza. Basically, like if you want only for 2D, 3D with extras, lightweight rendering pipeline for VR, high definition rendering, like for high end games and animation works. It will give useful templates for to build. So let's create a simple 3D project. Let's call this FTP Unity session, and it will ask you to the location. I'll add to my workplace and create. So here it will take some time to import all of the assets and all in the Unity. Take few minutes, maybe 1 or 2. Please let me know if I'm going too fast or slow. Right. So our editor is open. Let me show you how a typical Unity project looks like in your Explorer or Finder. So we have this project with us, and we have Unity create certain folders for us beforehand. First is the assets folder. So everything that you have inside the editor is should be within assets, right? So Unity only recognize the assets folder here. To keep all of your things, you should keep it inside the assets folder. If you want to have a 3D model, or if you want to have an image or any kind of thing, you need to have it in the assets folder. Otherwise, Unity will not recognize it. Then we have a library folder. Library folder, basically Unity uses it for managing its own editor. We don't need to look into that. And we have a logs folder. Unity can configure it on its own. Then we have certain packages, and this is the main thing, project settings. All of your things that you have, like all of your project settings, will have a link with this project setting. So if you want to, in any case, if you want to copy your project or something, you basically need these two things which are tailored to your certain project. You just need these two folders if you want to use a version control. So every other folder you can ignore, but you at any point of time you need these two project settings. These are the things that are tailored for your Unity project. Okay, let's move on to the editor. What all we have in our editor. So this is the landing screen that you see when you create a project. It's looking a bit like everything is, is filled with things and all. So it might look confusing, but trust me, if you like work on it, just keep your hands dirty on it, and it will. It is really easy to understand all of it. So first of all, we have this information kind of panel where you have Unity version, your Unity version in which you are making this application. Then you have a sample scene. In the architecture slide, I told you like everything that you have is within your scene. So Unity by default makes a scene for you, a sample scene for you, so that it will be a starting point for you to start something. You can make scenes on your own as well. By default, Unity make one default scene for you that is called a sample scene. And then we have the project name here. Then this is the target platform, the build platform. So while on I was talking about the modules, right? So by default, Unity gives a PC and Mac module to us. If we want to install some extra module, we can do this, but Unity by default gives a PC, Mac, and Linux standalone platform to us. So if I try to build this, it will be built to my for my PC platform, for Mac platform, because I'm using my Mac, so it will build for the Mac platform. Okay, so what we have in our editor window is first thing. There's a scene window. Scene window is basically used to construct our app. Everything we see, all the assets in our scene window, we will get like everything in our scene. We all the assets that we assets means all the files, raw files that we have, like images, text, um, audio, video, 3D, textures, everything that we have raw, we all the assets that we drop in our scene is basically should be visible here in our scene window. Just ignore this toolbar for now. We'll discuss it like after some time. And then we have this game window. Game window is basically end user's perspective to the view, where you can just directly navigate to the scene window, change it, like look into it, how it will look from other perspective. This game window you can't change or something. It will be a end user's perspective, how a end user will look your will see your app, right? In the game window, we have certain tools where we have free aspect. So this is a aspect ratio window. Sometimes like we need to work on a particular, we need to see that how my app will look for a particular aspect ratio. Will my icons will not get cut. So Unity will not automatically do it. We need to like dress all our icons by ourselves only. So, but Unity provides a kind of aspect ratio viewer where you can see all of your like if my icon is not cutting down, if I change to 4:3 ratio for tablets, if my icon is not shrinking or something like that, my background is not getting squeezed or expanded. So you can select from here. You can add your own as well, like for a resolution or as well as aspect ratio. Right, then we have a scale here. Scale is basically lets you to zoom in, zoom out, nothing fancy here. And then we have maximize on play. I'll discuss it later. Then we have some stats, which what CPU like some stats for geeks. We basically to see all of the performance things and things like that. This is the game window we have. Third thing that we have is the hierarchy window. What is the hierarchy? Hierarchy basically lists all of your assets in your game. In your game or application, it lists all of the assets. So Unity by default gives us two game objects by default. For a general, it's not that we need to have it all the time. We can just directly remove it and add our new one. So Unity just gave a basic two things. We'll see what are they.
Excuse me, Mr. Aruro. Sorry for interruption.
So,
Sir, can you zoom your window so that the letters we can't see properly?
okay.
Yes.
How to zoom it?
Do you have any zoom option? Means it is we can see the.
Magnifier, if I see. I don't know about Mac, we have magnifier option in Windows. I think this is the zoom window.
Yes. Because the letters are very small, so we can't see what the option you are using.
Yes, is it fine?
Okay.
Okay.
It is not zooming. So.
Yeah, just 1 second. Moving. Is it fine?
Not it, sir. Okay, sir. You continue. Actually, we will see what we can do in next session, sir.
Okay. Is it not like it's zoomed in my window?
Okay, okay, sir. But if we are seeing it's not like that, sir. Actually, it's in same way.
Okay, okay. It maybe team is not doing it. I'll see some options. Okay, I'll take care of it in the next version maybe. Next
Okay, okay, sir.
session.
Okay, okay, sure. Okay,
See
sir.
how.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, so in the hierarchy window, we have like a list of game. We can list all the game objects in the hierarchy view. So now see what are these. So everything that we have inside a scene is a game object. A game object is, as I like discussed in the architecture slide, is game object are basically empty containers that contains components. All of these transform, camera, audio, listener is a component, and every game object that you see has a component. So this is kind of a like if I go back to my architecture slide here, you will see my Unity has a scene, that I have a scene here that I have that contains multiple game objects. I can create new and like multiple game objects I can have, and all of these multiple game objects contains uh, matlab component. Basically, we can just add components, like if I want to add audio, like if my game object wants to play some sound. So this audio source works as a component. So everything that you have inside a attach inside a game object is a component. That's why I told that components are the building blocks of Unity. Components basically provides uh, like it will morph your game object. Like, so this is also a game object, this is also a game object, but components basically morph the game object into a separate thing. So it will act like a camera, and this game object will act like a light because we attach the light component in it. Now if I add one create one new empty game object, and we attach a audio source, now it will act like a audio emitting device, like a speaker, right? So game object will morph itself based on the components, right? Everything we have is a game object. Then we have project window, as I like mentioned earlier. Like all of the assets that you have should be inside assets. By default, Unity creates a sample folder, scenes folder. So you can create your organize your system like basically like any other Explorer file system. You will have scripts, or you can have images. You can just need to right click on the empty part and just create uh, and create whatever asset you want to create, right? So this is the project window. Then we have here inspector. Okay, as I showed you in inspector, you will see the properties, or you will see all the components that are listed that are attached to that game object, and you will see the properties of that component as well. Like for example, if for example in case of light, we have a light component attached, and it is kind of a direction. If you want to alter it, we can change it to spotlight, or like now it will emit like a spotlight. And also if I want to point it, so we can just modify the components using our inspector window. Okay. As I mentioned in the architecture window, we don't need to know how Unity is rendering this light and how light would reflect if some it will like overcast on a particular object, how light works and all. We don't need to know and care about all of things. What we need to do is, if my light is a direction light and my light color is yellowish and it has an intensity of 1, I can increase or decrease whatever it is. So this is a high level like scripting API that Unity provides us by default. So this is the architecture pillars. These are the components and the scripting APIs that is providing. Okay. Other thing that we have in the important part while we work on Unity is its tools, basic tools. Okay, let's understand this with by creating two cubes. Okay, for creating cubes, we have two options. First is by clicking on the hierarchy window, right, where you have copy, paste, duplicate, delete, create empty, and some basic tools provided by Unity. For 3D object, you can create cube, sphere, capsule. You don't need to import a 3D model from modeling software to get this thing. Like you can have all the basic, you can say, shapes: cube, sphere, capsule, cylinder, plane, quad, text, like a 3D text, and terrain, tree, all of these things. For 2D, we have sprite and all of the tile mapping and all of these, like all the effects like particle system, line, light. We have audio, video player. We have in Unity, where we can play video directly on a 3D object or directly on screen. We can stream it from web. All of these things are provided by Unity. So let's start with adding a cube. So yes, we can add it from here, or we can just go to the game object to toolbar here and select. It's the same thing. Okay. So now we created one cube. Now let's understand what is there in this cube. Now, as soon as I created my, it will appear in my scene window, because as I said, all the assets that we have in the scene will appear in the scene window. On the hierarchy, we have in the scene window. We can view it from all the angles and everything, and we can zoom it, zoom out. For zooming in, we just need to scroll up and down. For moving towards it, we can just need to pan. This is the hand option, so you just need to left click and like up, down, left, right to pan it, or you can just hold right click and then move your mouse pointer to look from a particular angle. You can also hit right click and press WSAD to move it faster, and like with the help of your keys. For up and down, you can use E and Q. So these are the basic things. All the like 3D software will have the same controlling tools. Okay, so when we create a new cube, we will see our cube here, and in the same cube will appear in our game window, but with the viewer's perspective. So my camera is here. Everything that that a camera renders should be here, there in the game window. From that angle, if I move my camera up and down, see my game window is also moved. Cube in my game window is moving, but cube in my scene window will be there, because I'm not changing the position of my cube. I'm just changing the way user looks at it. I'm just changing the camera. Okay, camera is basically the eyes of a user. You can say that how Camera has some properties like field of view and all of these, all the basic things that we have. Okay. So if you click on this cube, we have by default we have certain components. We will revisit it these all these components at the point. We'll see what we have in the transform. A transform is basically a very basic component that is required by each game object. It is mandatory for game object. Basically, a transform is the position rotation of scale of the object. Position is where should be the this object will be. Position is at which direction, and the scale is how like what's the size of this thing. So we can just directly change from here. We can just click on the XYZ properties and enter our own numbers. These numbers are basically in meters. If you see these grids, this is 1 by 1. So all of like this, for example, if I am setting this as 1, 1, 1. So from origin of the grid, which is 0, 0, 0, it is 1 meter on the left, 1 meter on the top, and 1 meter towards, like the depth will be the 1 meter. Okay. So all the units in Unity is basically in meters. Okay, then I can just change the rotation and all, increase the size. Okay, then you will see some tools here, right? I will describe every tool one by one. Okay, let's first understand what is the hand tool. Hand tool, we all know, like we see like how can we navigate in the scene window, right? This hand tool is used by this. And then the other tool is the move tool. Move tool is basically used to move your position, change your transform position. So as soon as you click on this, you will find, it's not showing, need to select, yeah, you will find 3 arrow, right? They depict X, Y, Z. So a red arrow depicts the X position, green arrow depicts the Y position, and the blue arrow depicts the Z position. You can understand is the RGB X, Y, Z. If you change it, you will see the arrow changes to yellow, and if you see here, the X position will change, right? And then if you want to change the Y position, if you increase the height of this, move it towards up, then you need to hold the arrow and go up. If you want to increase the depth, or you want it to come closer to you, you can do it with this thing. And we have this thing. This is basically your perspective view. Where are you seeing it from? So you are seeing it from, for example, if you want to see it from front, you just so right now I'm looking at right. You can click on this, like it will depict like X, Y, and Z is the back of this page. So you can just directly change to look from left, right, bottom, back, top, all of these things. So, and if you just manually change it, it will automatically change and give you a perspective where from which angle are you looking into it, right? Okay. Now let's move to our next tool. We have a rotate tool. Rotate tool, basically through its name, you can rotate the cube. You will see some lines here. These are the same lines. If you want to, like the same lines will be here, like you can rotate from here, as well as you can just use our rotation. If I want to rotate it 180 degree towards this X the direction, like I need to roll it 180 degrees, so it will be like 180, and it will roll itself, right? So it follows the same rule, roll, pitch, yaw. So if X is basically from upside down like this, Y position will be your, yeah, I'll show it from the front. Yeah, so Y position is your pitch, and yaw is your Z axis. Okay. Now our next tool is the scale tool. Scale tool used for scale your project, how it should uh, scale, how large is it. So you have the same things, RGB, X, Y, Z. You can like the arrow, you can increase in X position only. You can increase it with Y position on the Y axis, or you can increase it on the Z axis. You can also increase whole object like with the equal factor. So if you see, if I'm reverted back to 111 scale, the original scale, and if I move, it will see that all the three axes will move with the same scaling factor. So these are the basic tools to basically move, rotate, and scale your game object. Any game object, you will find the same tool for everything. And then we have a rack tool. This basically used for doing the same things as the previous one, but basically meant for the 2D objects, 2D images. You will increase the size and all with this tool. Then we have a combine tool, uh, like it is a combined tool for all the three things, all the things that like we need to rotate. We scaling. We have the rotation. All the three things that we can do in a combined tool. This is the move, rotate, scale tool. Then the other toolbar is the center. There's a toggle between a center and a pivot. So for that, actually, we need to create a one more cube. Let's duplicate this. So the shortcut for doing this is Control D for duplicating objects. You can also go right click and duplicate. So we have one more cube. So I duplicated it. That's why it is you see there is only one cube, but they are actually two cubes because the position are overlapping. So we can just move our second cube somewhat to the not Z position. Let's move it towards some X position. You will see in the game window. Right. Now, if we talk about center and pivot, if I select both the cubes, and if I want to rotate them, it will rotate. It is rotating on its own axis, on its own pivot point, from its own axis, I would say. Okay, but if I want to rotate both of them, work on any from the pivot, from the origin, you can just change this to center, and now it is moving from a center position, like there is a hinge attached to it. You can visualize it with that. Okay, it will move like this. Okay. Other thing is the global and local. This basically used for positions, like global position, like based on your world, based on the whole 3D world. And if you want to use this thing for a local, for your own local game object perspective, there it is used for not very generally we use it. It's an advanced thing. So we can skip that for now. Okay, we can just directly remove a game object like this. I think different here. Also, all of these toolbars can be easily like these are the shortcut of to use this toolbar. So if you see your keyboard, you will see Q R E T Y T Y, right? QWERTY. So if you can see this, if I press W, it changed to to the W. If I press E, it will change to rotate, R, T, Y. So it will just, you can use these keys for easy navigation between all of this. Okay, so this is the basic toolbars, and then we have certain settings. Okay, you can save your scene by just clicking on save or Control S, and if you want to save your project, you just click on save project. If your scene is saved, then your project is also saved. Like your project is basically your scenes, so it's better to click on both the things like that. If you want to like, okay, so like any other engine that we have, new scene, open scene, save as, and the current scene with a new name, new project, open a project, save project. Then we have a build settings. We will understand it after few minutes. Then we have close, and in the edit we have like undo, cut, copy, paste, duplicate, find, frame selected. Then we have lock view, like some editing tools, select all, play point. Oh yes, I just completely forget to tell you the main part of the engine, this play, pause, and next frame button. So by hitting on play, you will just move to the, like how it will execute, the execution format. So for example, if I have some game object and it is moving, it will be still. But as soon as I hit on play, it will act as the game is in execution scheme, that the game is already built or the application is already built, and it's you are seeing the final build of your application. So the play window, by hitting once, it will change its colors to blue, and all the other editor window will kind of dim itself. There is a reason behind dimming it. So the reason is basically everything you do during the execution will not save, will not be saved or stored after you hit pause. Let me show you example. For example, during the execution of the application, I created one 3D cube, right? As soon as I stop it, it will disappear. So it will not store all of the things that you create after the execution of your application. Then we have a pause button. So basically, it just pause your execution for that particular time. These are used for basically if you want to change something and you want to see it, you can just pause the execution and check it out. You can see at the real-time execution as well. There's no like a blocker in that. But if you want to pause your execution, you can do it. Then we have a next frame button. So sometimes you need to see your things frame by frame. How is it rendering frame by frame? So you can just pause your execution and just click on frame, that it will render frame by frame. Okay. Okay. So then we have certain settings that we need to take care of when we configure our Unity. After configuring, basically they have general settings that we don't generally use it. What we need to take care about is the external tools. So in external tools, if okay, let me increase the size. Oh, sorry, so that you can see. You able to see the font size?
Yes, sir. We can see, but it is in same way only, but manageable, sir.
Manageable. Okay. Okay. Sure. So in the external tools, we have external script editors, the same IDE that I was talking about, like the Rider version. You can have other IDEs as well. It all like if you have Visual Studio, it should link here. Or if you want to open in some other editor, your choice is different. Then you can just browse and just give the exe of that the executable file of that ID. Unity will link it. Like as soon as you click on some script, it will directly open it to the editor. And as soon as you change something in your script, it will directly link here. For that, you need to click on this editor attaching. Then we have image application. It will open by file extension is the default setting. We don't need to worry about that. The main thing that we have to worry is the SDK, JDK, and NDK. For building for Android, we should have SDK and JDK. If we don't have it, Unity will throw error when you try to build for that. So just make sure you have the SDK and JDK installed, and like the correct path should be here. It's the main thing that you need to take care of when you after installing Unity. Then there are some other settings as well. So if you go here, then it will show all the settings. If by mistake, if you close any other tab, you can just directly go here and click on tab, and also you can move your tab anywhere in your editor to get like to which suits you best. Then we have certain settings with us. We have lighting settings. The most common setting that we generally use is the project setting, right? So you can just directly go to the project setting by clicking on the build settings, where you have this window. Let me expand this. Okay. So in this build settings, what we have is all the scenes that we want to build. By default, there will be no scene. So if we want to add, we can add our open scenes, or if we have other scene, for example, if I create one new scene, if I click on create and go to the scene and name it as a new scene, then I can just directly drag and drop it in the scene, so that it will, while building it, it should have that particular scene. Okay, that's the scene and build. Other thing is the platform. On which platform are you want to build your app? So for by default, as I said earlier, it's set to PC, Mac, and Linux based on our OS. Right now I have Mac OS, so it will our target platform is Mac OS X. If I want to change it to Android, I just need to click on Android and then click on switch platforms. It will take a few minutes to basically import all of the assets to Android and make configurations. As soon as if the target is picked, we will see Unity logo here to show you that your current platform is this. Also, your this thing in your toolbar, the target platform also changed to give you an immediate feedback that the target platform is Android. In the Android, we have certain build settings. For every other platform, you will see different settings based on that platform. For Android, you have texture compression. Then these are the performance basing. What is the build system? If you have Gradle or internal system, whatever. If you want to run your device on your system, So as soon as you connected your Android device with the USB, you will see the run device here. Just need to click refresh and you will see here, and you just need to click on build and run. Otherwise, if you click on build, it will create a APK, and you need to manually install it in the device. For example, if I don't have iOS and I have to build for iOS, I can just directly click on iOS, go to the download page, and it will automatically download. See if you can see setup iOS support for Unity Editor 2018.4.14. Like it will exclusively for my version. I don't need to take care of any of this. Unity will take care of all of this by itself. So we have different for WebGL, for PlayStation, for Facebook games, for Xbox, for Apple TV, Android. We have the different target platforms. Then what we have is players settings. These are also very important settings when you try to build your application. So the default company, you can change it by like Unity provides you some default names, but you can always change it. For example, if my company is FDP and my product name is FDP Unity version, my APK version is 0.1. Now I can use my custom icon. So if I have some image or a texture, I can just directly, I don't have anyone, so I can't show you. But as soon like this only, you can just directly drag and drop here, or you can just browse from here. For example, if I have any random image, I can just directly change my app icon, right? So, or if you have, like if you are building for Play Store wants to ask for specific dimension of icons, you can add here. Like these are the basic settings. Which resolution are you making? What is the default orientation? It will auto rotate or not. Or if you want to build it for a certain like only landscape version, you can just directly change to landscape right or left based on your choice. Then we have the splash screen. As I was like we were discussing in the plans page, that we like if we have a free version, then this settings will be disabled, so it will always show Unity logo. But I have the paid one, so it is showing me like I can configure it. Okay, so I'll just keep it for like enabled only. Then we have like for animations, like starting animation, how will it look and all. You can configure the splash. Then we have other settings. This is important. So what all settings are there is some of the graphics API. It should use multi-thread rendering or not. It has this thing dynamic batching or not, static batching or not. These are the like advanced topics in 3D programming. Then we have important is the package name. So if you don't change this, Unity will throw you an error for the first time. Unity wants you to change the name, the package name as per your choice. So I will just change it to com.fdp.unity session. Okay, I can change it whatever I want. And the app version, let it be which API, minimum API level I want to build it for Android 4.1 onwards. My target is the automatic, whichever is the highest installed. And we have the scripting runtime. We have the .NET 4 equivalent. Some APIs are not available in 3.5. This is like I'm using the newer version, so and .NET 3.5 equivalent is deprecated now. And we have scripting backend and things like that, the target architecture. So all of the building settings that you want, like which should be what is my icon, what is my what it looks like when it loads. Will it use some special graphics API? Will it work on a particular Android version? All the build relating settings you will find in File, Build Settings, and then Player Settings. So these are the whole things. And for publishing to iOS and all, you will need like all the keys and all. Right, and these are the XR settings that provided by default now for Unity, that your app supports virtual reality support or not. If you click, then it will ask you which virtual reality SDK that you want. That if I select, for example, Cardboard, it will automatically configure it. And for example, for AR, if the AR code support, as if I select Android, it will show me AR code. If I select iOS, it will show me ARKit. So it smartly manages itself. We don't need to worry much regarding all of this. So this is all about Unity Editor and how you install it. What are the settings that we have? How to install and everything. I told you, if I missed something, please let me know. I think if I revisit it, we got to know what is Unity. Unity is high level architecture. What are the different plans and how to download Unity, how to create a new project, how to open it, what is the project structure that we by default have. Then we understand the Unity default layout. Then we have what are the settings that we have and some of the common build settings. If you have any questions, we still have some time. If you have any questions, please.
Sir, this is R. Sundar Kumar from Institute of Road and Transport Technology Road. Do you
Hi,
have
sir.
any recorded video lectures, sir? YouTube, sir, like that, sir?
There are multiple lectures that are being provided by Unity itself. So if you go to the web, okay, I can share you.
Okay, sir. Sir,
Yeah.
sir, suppose do you have any recorded videos, sir? Do you have
Do I have?
your videos, sir? Your video.
I don't have any such recording.
Okay, sir.
But I like. Do you want some specific on a specific topic or something?
Sir, like today's topic, 11 to today's topic, sir.
I think it is being recorded.
Okay, sir.
I think Hari sir might know.
Yeah, yes, sir. We are recording these videos. We will share this videos to our participants soon, sir.
So,
That would be great.
which websites are this one, sir? You are viewing this. I'm not able to view that website, sir. I'm not wearing the glass.
Okay. So this is unity.com. If you just type Unity in your Google search, you will see unity.com. There you will have this tab called Learning.
Okay.
If you go into Learning, then it will it will have all the things that for learners, for educators, for complete team. So you will get step-by-step course for the whole thing. Like they introduced it very recently. Essentials and junior programmer for artists, for art, for film, for XR, for VR, AR, VR. There is a complete list. Yeah.
So for small scale it is free. For large scale it is premium.
Yes. Like they have a large scale, I would say. Like for like if you are building for enterprise, yes. They have, I think. If I go to the plans, the individual, I think they have mentioned. Yes. Let me show you. So they have mentioned that revenue or funding less than $1,000K in the last 12 months. If you don't have this, that you don't need any any pro version of this, any paid version.
Okay, sir.
This is the eligibility that is being written.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Sir, whether it is compatible with Windows, sir?
Yes, it is very much compatible. So the system requirements, yes, I forgot to cover this. I have the documentation in which we should have our yeah. So in this is it visible to all of you?
Sir, yes, sir,
Uh,
it's visible, sir.
Okay, so these are the minimum requirements that you need for all, basically for all the general OS. For Windows, you should have Windows 7, Windows 10, x64 architecture is a must, and then graphics API that you should have DirectX 10, 11, and 12 GPUs. Apart from that, you don't need any like specific build for your things like. But yes, it's a game engine that you need a graphic driver. A good GPU will help in, otherwise it will lag and it is not provide you a very smooth experience. So you will need a graphic like a GPU unit in your system.
Sir, the current Tamil Nadu laptop also will support this one, sir. Then
Yes.
it will have a Tamil Nadu government laptop. Tamil Nadu government is using some laptops, sir. Whether this laptop supports this.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Sir, it is not possible. It won't be supported, sir. Actually, we already tried, but it is not possible. Minimum requirement for this installation is 8 GB RAM.
Okay, sir. That one is 4 GB RAM.
Yeah. I think 4 GB and 2 GB is available, but for Tamil Nadu government laptops, it won't be supported.
Okay, sir.
And the graphics card also, it is not up to this level.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. So for that, we need some Dell like that, 8 GB RAM. Dell.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that.
Minimum it needs 8 GB RAM.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Participants, do you have any other questions?
Yeah,
Please?
one more, please. So you showed me, this is Matan from Hindustan College of Arts and Science. So right now I just opened my Unity and I'm working with my Unity. And so you showed me like while right clicking, you can orbit that camera. So I want to orbit that particular object. I have to go around 360 degree, how it is, how to do that.
Okay, so if I share my Unity editor, just one second. So, for example, if you use this cube, right? And if you want to see it in the actual game, in your actual build, or do you want to see it in the scene window? Am I audible, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
So I'm also using
was,
while right clicking, I can while right clicking and when I'm moving it, what happened was the camera is rotating in single place and it is revolving 360 degrees. But
Yes.
I want to go around that particular object 360 degrees.
Okay, so what you can do is you can right click and press the WASD, or you can just right click and go like this. Okay, you need to work on
Yeah,
that. Like
it is working, but the thing is, it's not that smooth actually. This is the only way to do that.
yes, actually, if you want to do it in the build, that you can use scripting for that. We'll have that particular thing in our next session aligned. If you want to do it in our build, for example, if you have some object, some ball or something, and if you want to show it in your phone, then you can use scripting to make it move like this for in a particular speed and things like that.
Okay.
But in the scene window, particularly in this window, we only have these options only. So if you want to see it, you can use actually these commands here. Like it will
Yeah, yeah.
actually lock it. Let me just see. It will lock the view as well. Lock view to selected, and you can see like this.
Go around. Okay. But the thing is, if I'm creating a big scene at that time, sometimes all things got clumsy. So if I want to go around and I need to check whether the things got placed in a perfect place. So at that time, it's really disturbing me a lot. Like it's really hard for me every time I have to hit F to focus that particular object, and I have to do that. So that's what I ask you.
Yes, yes. Actually, for all the game game developer thing, it's very difficult to use it with the mouse pad and all. So we generally use mouse for that.
Yeah.
For like we also face the same issue. We can't see like this. I agree with your point, but
But the
we
thing is,
unfortunately.
In Unreal Engine, it is pretty easy for you to go around like 3D softwares. If you take Blender or Maya, say how you do that over there. So we can exactly do it in Unreal. But in Unity, it is really difficult for me for placement, especially for placement purpose.
Yes, sir. But unfortunately, we we have this only. It's like we don't have any specific tool for that.
All
We
right.
need to play with this only. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, man. Thank you so much for your the way you explained is really very great. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Uh, if you have any feedback and all, like you can share, like so that if I'm going very fast or slow, I would improve in the next session, maybe. The feedback sir gave is like the fonts are really small, so I'll look into this. Any other thing?
Participants, do you have any other feedback? Please kindly share.
I think this is Matan. I think you're going in a right way. I hope everything is good. But right now I'm looking in a Mac computer, so I felt more comfortable. But I'm not sure about pretty small computer because the screen might look pretty smaller because a lot of things are there. So it is really hard for them to grasp. That's the only thing. But your speed wise, you're good enough.
Okay. Sure.
Okay. So participants, any other questions? Otherwise, we can conclude. Okay, thank you, Mr. Akshay. The session was very informative and as well as very useful. We can understand how we can install Unity in our system as well as how we can work with this Unity. So thank you again. We'll meet at 2:30 p.m. again.
Sure, sir. Thank you so much, participants, for joining in, and it's glad to hear that it helps you.
Okay. Thank you,
Okay.
participants. Okay, we'll meet at 2:30 p.m.